We've all heard stories about actors who have gone to extremes to play different roles, from gaining a lot of weight to living in solitude to going without sleep. Some would say these actors are extremely dedicated to their craft, while others would say they're absolutely crazy. So which is it? In this episode of Actor Talk, I'm going to give my opinion on this aspect of acting, so keep watching. There are some notable actors who have gone to some pretty extreme lengths to prepare for a role. Christian Bale lost 62 pounds for his role in The Machinist, and then went on to gain 100 pounds for his role in Batman Begins. Margot Robbie spent several hours every day learning to ice skate for I, Tonya, while Chris Hemsworth went down to 500 calories per day for his role in The Heart of the Sea. There are so many other examples of actors going to these kind of lengths to prepare for a role, and it would take me all day to list them all, so I'm not going to. But I think it's important to point out the difference between doing what's required to truthfully portray a character and doing something that puts your health or life at risk. When portraying a character, there are many different things you have to do in order to be able to accurately portray the character, whether the character is fictional or real. You may have to shave your head to portray a person with cancer, or spend a week blindfolded in order to understand what it's like to be blind. Those are just two examples of preparation and research going into preparing a character. Most people would say that shaving your head to play a cancer patient makes a lot of sense, but may think that going blindfolded for an extended period of time, weeks, months even, is just not necessary or just completely crazy. But is it? You see, actors need to do what's necessary in order to be able to portray the character. In the case of being blind, how can you possibly portray someone who is blind if you don't spend a good deal of time blindfolded to get the understanding of what it's like to have to maneuver in a world where you can't see? This is important to get into that mindset of someone who is blind if you are going to accurately portray someone who is blind. So I think it's critical for an actor to do what's necessary to be able to portray a role. And in most cases, it's not going to extremes. In most cases, it's perfectly normal. There is a caveat, however, and that is when you go to extreme lengths to prepare for a character that puts yourself, your health, your life at risk. So, for example, if I were to be playing a character who's anorexic and I lost 50 pounds to play the role, I will be putting myself at serious risk for health issues and other things due to that extreme weight loss. And so I don't think that's very wise. So the question then becomes, do we sacrifice our health in order to be able to truthfully portray a character, or do we find another way around that to where we don't have to do things that are dangerous to our health, but still accurately portray the character? And I believe that there are ways that you can truthfully and accurately portray someone without going to extremes that would harm yourself. For example, if you have to play someone who is obese, one school of thought is to put on an exorbitant amount of weight in order to be able to play that character. So you eat and eat and eat junk food or whatever to get super overweight to really understand what it feels like and to be able to accurately portray the character. However, there's another way you can do it, and that is you can do the research, understand what kind of symptoms go along with being overweight, the way your body moves when you're overweight, the kind of issues and attitudes and all sorts of things that will happen. But then what you can do is you can wear a fat suit and prosthetics to give you the appearance of being super overweight. So you're getting the same effect for film or theater without actually going there and putting your health at risk. So I think you can do things that are considered extreme for preparation in the character as long as you're not putting your health at risk. So there's a line that you shouldn't cross. Now, what about actors who do things that are considered unsafe, but not necessarily unhealthy to prepare for a role? Well, I can't tell them how to prepare, because acting really is a very pragmatic art form. Pragmatism meaning that the ends justify the means. So you do whatever it takes to be able to portray the character. And that's different for each and every actor. Like I said, I believe that acting is a pragmatic art form, but I think the pragmatism should stop before you cross a line morally, ethically, legally, or safety. An example of pragmatism for acting would be staying in character the entire time, such as Daniel Day-Lewis in Lincoln. He stayed in character the entire time of the shoot, even off camera, even off set, only being referred to by Mr. Lincoln, Mr. President, Abe, only using the transportation of the time period, so walking or carriage or horseback, and so on and so forth. And if that's what it took Daniel Day-Lewis to be able to portray Lincoln accurately and truthfully, if that's the only way he felt he could play the part and do it justice, then I think that was the right way to go. Then there are actors who basically goof around on set, they're themselves the whole time, and then when they call action, all of a sudden they're in the moment as the character. And that's fine. I personally don't think you can give a really great performance if you're constantly jumping from being in the moment, in the headspace that you need to be for the character, and then jumping out of that into yourself and going back and forth like that. I think that's actually detrimental. But I'm not the people that do that, so I can't say that it doesn't absolutely work for them. I just, in theory, think it doesn't work as well. So that's just my personal opinion on that. Now, I'm in the camp that's leaning more towards Daniel Day-Lewis's approach, which is to stay in character. For me, it's staying in character or staying in the moment most of the time I'm on set. I don't go to the lengths where I will only answer to my character name and I stay in the time period or whatever of the character the entire time. I don't do that. But when I'm on set and I'm ready to go, I will stay in the headspace of the character and I will try not to get distracted by other things. As much as I like to goof around and have fun, I try to stay as much as I can in the headspace of the moment of the story, so that way I can be ready and give the best performance I can rather than trying to jump into it when they call pictures up. But it really is an individual decision, so I think in that respect, it is up to the person individually. As far as preparation, I think you need to do essentially anything and everything you have to prepare to play your role, whether that is going on a diet, or working out a lot, or being homeless for several weeks to understand what it was like to be homeless. Whatever it is, I think that is not going to the extremes. Again, as long as you're not doing something that's crossing a moral boundary, an ethical boundary, or legal boundary, or you're not putting yourself at serious risk for your health or your safety, I think you need to do whatever it takes to be able to portray the character. I just want to be clear about that. I am not saying do absolutely anything regardless of morals or ethics or legality to prepare for a role. I'm not saying to do that. I'm saying don't do that. I'm saying do anything within the realm of morality, ethics, and legality and safety. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to hit that thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. Click the little bell so that way you are notified whenever new content comes out. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, keep living truthfully.